Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 1 hour. In his first Jammu and Kashmir visit after the polls, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate developmental projects in the valley today and also to lead the 10th Yoga Day celebrations in Srinagar. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar to visit Sri Lanka. The visit to add momentum to connectivity projects and other mutually beneficial cooperation across many sectors. After concluding a defense pact with North Korea, Russian President Putin touches down in Vietnam for final stop in his two-nation Asia tour. As tension escalates in the South China Sea, Philippines says peace could not be achieved if China's words did not match its behavior in the disputed waters. Unrelenting heat waves smash records across the globe. 80 million people in the US under heat advisory as New York opens cooling centers. More than 550 people died during Hajj pilgrimage in Saudi Arabia. In his first visit to Jammu and Kashmir after assuming office for the third term, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be in Srinagar on Thursday. During his two-day visit to the Union Territory, Prime Minister will participate in Empowering Youth Transforming Jammu and Kashmir event in Srinagar on Thursday evening. He will inaugurate and lay the foundation stone of multiple developmental projects in Jammu and Kashmir. Prime Minister will also launch competitiveness improvement in agriculture and allied sectors project. The Prime Minister, during his visit, will also distribute appointment letters to more than 2,000 youth for different government services. On the second day of his visit, the Prime Minister will participate in the 10th International Day of Yoga event in Srinagar. He will also address the gathering on the occasion and take part in the common yoga protocol session thereafter. Jessica Taneja joins us from Srinagar for more. Jessica, good morning. You're there in Srinagar. Very quickly, first, take us through what all will be the highlights of the Prime Minister's day in Srinagar today, as we tell our viewers that the Prime Minister will be inaugurating a number of developmental projects in Jammu and Kashmir today.
That's right. It is his first visit to Jammu and Kashmir after being elected as Prime Minister for the third term, and it's crucial he chose Srinagar. As you rightly pointed, Preeti, he's going to inaugurate various development projects to the tune of 1,500 crore rupees as well. And not to forget the 6 degree colleges, government degree colleges that are also up for discussion and inauguration as well. Given the fact that towards the evening, the Prime Minister will be meeting with the youth and also handing out employment certificates to the youth that he's going to interact with in the evening.
All right. Also, the Prime Minister will be participating in the 10th International Day of Yoga celebrations in Srinagar. What is it that you're witnessing? Let us get more on the enthusiasm or the excitement of the people there ahead of the Prime Minister's arrival in Jammu and Kashmir. All right, I think we've lost contact there with Jessica. We'll try getting back to her again. But meanwhile, let's turn focus to other updates. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has reached Colombo today as part of his official visit to Sri Lanka. During the visit, Dr. S. Jaishankar will have meetings with the leadership of Sri Lanka on wide-ranging issues of mutual partnership. This will be Dr. S. Jaishankar's first bilateral visit after the formation of new government under Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Reaffirming India's neighbourhood-first policy, the visit underlines India's continued commitment to Sri Lanka as its closest maritime neighbour and time-tested friend. The visit will add momentum to connectivity projects and other mutually beneficial cooperation across various sectors. The UGC NET June 2024 examination that took place on 18th of June has been cancelled by the central government. The UGC NET is an eligibility test conducted by National Testing Agency for Junior Research Fellowship. appointment as assistant professor and admission to PhD degree courses. Inputs from Indian Cybercrime Coordination Centre suggested possible compromises, prompting the Ministry of Education to take action. Then the ministry said that the action was taken to ensure the highest level of transparency and sanctity of the examination process is ensured. The Supreme Court is set to hear new petitions on June 20th, seeking the cancellation of NEET UG 2024 examination due to alleged paper leaks. Now, this controversy has led to protests and complaints, particularly after 1,563 candidates received grace marks and 67 students scored a perfect 720. Earlier on Tuesday, the Apex Court emphasized that any negligence in the conduct of the NEET UG 2024 examination would be addressed thoroughly. The Supreme Court also noted that the litigation concerning the exam would not be adversarial, recognizing the hard work students put into preparing for this medical entrance test. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Wednesday highlighted the Union Cabinet's decisions to increase the minimum support price on 14 Kharif crops and the development of Lal Bahadur Shastri International Airport, Varanasi. Prime Minister Modi, in a social media post, said that the government is committed to expanding connectivity across the country. He added that the airport will make the lives of the people of Varanasi easier, as well as provide great convenience to the pilgrims visiting Kashi. The Prime Minister also underlined the approval of the Viability Gap Funding Scheme for offshore wind energy projects off the coasts of Gujarat and Tamil Nadu and the development of a major port at Vadhavan in Maharashtra. A number of important cabinet decisions were taken yesterday, and up your screens we have the graphics, the highlights of these decisions. The cabinet approved MSP for Kharif crops for the marketing season 2024 and also the development of Lal Bahadur Shastri International Airport in Varanasi. The decisions echoed the commitment of the government to expand connectivity across the country. With regard to that, the Varanasi airport, its modernization will make the lives of the people of Varanasi easier and will provide great convenience to the pilgrims who are visiting Kashi. A quick look at other stories making it to the headlines from India. An Indian national working as a farm labourer in Italy's Latina died on Wednesday following an accident that severed his arm. Identified as Satnam Singh, the man was dumped along the road without being attended to. The Indian embassy in Italy said that efforts are underway to contact the family and provide consular assistance. Forest fires in India's Jammu and Kashmir continue to rage in Udhampur district. Massive fire engulfed Bali Trichi forest on Wednesday. Strong winds triggered the fire to spread rapidly in the region. Also, according to the officials, 2 houses were completely gutted in the blaze and 2 were partially damaged. Efforts are on to put off the blaze. Indian Army organized a special camp for people of border areas at Kalit village in Jammu and Kashmir. The camp organized on Wednesday was to educate and inform local residents about various government schemes. You're watching DD India News Hour. We're heading for a short break. But after the break, 32 people die after allegedly consuming illicit liquor in Kalakuruchi district in southern state of Tamil Nadu. North India smolders under sweltering temperatures with no immediate relief in sight, predicts the IMD. In a major breakthrough, Jammu and Kashmir police arrest a terror associate at Riyasi.
Voice of a rising aspirational world. Stories of challenges, struggles and accomplishment. A world battling conflict, hunger and poverty. embracing growth, development, science and technology. A voice of progress, a voice of unity. Watch Voice of the Global South with me, Akshay Dongre, only on DD India.
Meghalaya, the abode of clouds. A land so enchanting. It makes time stand still. With a distinctive and ethnic culture. And vibrant tribal folklore. Filled with the goodness of nature. Every day here is an adventure. Home to music, passion, and to hopes and ambitions. Welcome to the magical land of Meghalaya.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News Hour and I'm Preeti. In a tragic incident, at least 32 people have died and several were hospitalized after they allegedly consumed illicit liquor in Kalakuruchi district in the southern state of Tamil Nadu. After Wednesday's incident triggered a major uproar, the government rushed specialized medical teams to the hospital. The incident comes just a year after 22 people died in twin Hooch tragedies in Viluppuram and Chengalpattu districts. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin expressed shock over the deaths and said that action had been taken against officials who failed to prevent it. A major breakthrough has been achieved in the case pertaining to the terrorist attack in Jammu and Kashmir's Riyasi on the pilgrim bus on June 9th. One terror associate has been arrested by Jammu and Kashmir police at Riyasi. Now, this person was involved in harboring the terrorists multiple times. The arrested person is a prime militant associate who helped the terrorists in execution of the attack. Further interrogation and investigation of the case is on. At least 5 people died of heat stroke in New Delhi as North India continues to reel under a severe heat wave. Doctors have warned that elderly people are more susceptible to heat stroke. On Tuesday, nighttime temperature in Delhi soared to a record high of 33.8 degrees Celsius. The city has been recording above 40 degrees Celsius temperature during the day. Also, according to the Met Department, severe heat wave conditions will persist across parts of North India. Parts of the hill state of Uttarakhand received rainfall on Wednesday after a prolonged dry spell, bringing relief to people from the scorching heat. According to the weather department, the plain areas will witness a drop of around 2 to 4 degrees Celsius and the hills around 4 to 6 degrees Celsius due to Wednesday's rains. Water levels of major rivers in northeast Indian state of Assam are on the rise as heavy rains continued in the region. On Wednesday, a number of villages reeling under water reached up to 979 in as many as 19 districts. Almost 3 lakh people have been affected. On the weather forecast, IMD has issued orange alert for Assam, Meghalaya and Arunachal Pradesh. Indian Army successfully rescued 150 tourists from Sikkim. India's Defence Ministry spokesperson in a social media post said that the last group of 150 tourists was successfully rescued from North Sikkim on 19 June despite incessant rainfall and inclement weather. Troops from 3 Shakti Corps of the Indian Army along with civil administration undertook the rescue of over 1,200 stranded tourists from rain-hit region of North Sikkim since June 12th. Due to incessant rains and landslides at a number of places, evacuation of the stranded tourists could begin only on 17th of June. The tourists had to cross the site on landslides, in fact the site of landslides on foot and travel in vehicles on the stretches in between wherever road connectivity existed. Indian Army, braving landslides and tough terrain, ensured the safety of stranded tourists and provided them medical care. And now we get you all the updates from the 18th edition of Mumbai International Film Festival. On day 5th of Mumbai International Film Festival, filmmaker and cinematographer R.V. Ramani addressed a session titled Beyond Boundaries. Ramani is also the winner of India's National Award. He tells TD India's Shyama Mishra about how filmmakers need to find new form of expressions to bring newness into filmmaking.
Cinematographer Ravni sir is with us. He was here at Mumbai International Film Festival for addressing a masterclass session. Sir, you spoke on Beyond Boundaries, and we understand that you've worked in several languages with several directors. What would be your go-to advice?
Go-to advice is that all of you try a language that is close to you. Do whatever you want to. Yeah, there is no reason for that. This is the way films are made. It is not valid anymore. This is the way I wish to make. That is the only narrative. Yeah.
We are also seeing, sir, that of late we have always been producing good movies, making good movies. But now, with the advent of OTTs gaining more popularity and everything, language is no barrier. What would you say about the content, about the filmmaking? What should be the one thing that should be most looked at to make a good movie?
No, content is what touches you, what you feel connected to. I mean, this is how I do it. Meaning that I can only speak from my experience. So I would say everybody is an artist. Everybody is aspiring storyteller. And you choose a medium, and if you chosen audiovisual as a medium, then you just say it in the way you want to. Discover possibilities of the medium itself, experiment, and then discover that is close to you. Like the way children do drawings, like they discover a new way of drawing. You cannot say it's a bad painting or a good or bad. That's the way one person expresses. So I think a lot of turmoils in your mind, social stigmas and those all this kind of thing in personal level also can be freed by free expressions. In whatever medium, it can be talking, it can be poetry, it can be singing. Here you're talking about audiovisual as a film possibility. A free expression, just say what comes to you from deep inside and find a way to, and discover a language. This is the only way to do it. There's no other way.
Thank you very much for talking to us, sir.
It is the penultimate day of the 18th edition of the Mumbai International Film Festival today. It will witness several panel discussions and masterclass, including the one addressed by Ollie Huddleston, who is an award-winning film editor with 30 years of experience. Other sessions are dissemination of shots, penetration, reach and exposure, and from script to screen, the challenges and triumphs of international co-production. Today, as we told you, is the penultimate day of this Mumbai International Film Festival, and it is indeed a treat for the cine lovers as they witness the authenticity and maturity of storytelling from different parts of the country. And in fact, this is also important because the festival kind of breaks barriers, because it has been screening films in the Indian Sign Language and audio descriptions for Divyang students as well. And this is for the first time that the festival is being organized in Pune. The 18th edition of the festival is underway in Mumbai, and a number of celebrities marked their attendance at the festival. The festival, in fact, showcased an extravaganza of spectacular films ever since it started. Animation and VFX pipeline workshops were also hosted at the film festival. Shyama Mishra is joining us from Mumbai. Shyama, it is the penultimate day of the film festival. You've just given a broad outline of what to expect at the festival. You give us the details. How do we expect the day to pan out at the festival?
Well, Preeti, we have seen that the 5 days that just went by in a flash, and a lot of action has taken place over here in terms of animation, short films, documentaries. And yesterday we saw that both the national and the international competition category jury members, they conducted their press conference, and both the panelists, both the jury have said that they have received a selection or collection of wonderful movies, both from India and international, and the movies have really come out of age, and it is one of the best collections that they have received so far. So that is one speciality of Mumbai International Film Festival, that the best of the documentaries, short films, animations, they come over here. And today we are going to talk about the second last day, the penultimate day. We are going to have Ollie Huddleston. He'll be taking a master class on editing. Then there'll be press conferences because there are several packages over here, and various movies are segregated in categories. So today we are going to have Belarus film package. We are also going to have Japan film package. So the representatives or the consul, deputy consuls will be taking press conferences, and they'll be apprising us on what is really going on between India and their country, and how the film making or the industry is actually booming. We are also talking about several other master classes. So you've already mentioned about from script to script. There's another masterclass on puppetry, that is in retrospective. So every aspect is being covered over here, and there, like every day, there'll be screenings in the national category competition, documentary, international competition. So screenings are going on at a lot of places, including Mumbai, and we this time, because we've said that it's the first time that there'll be screenings at around 5 locations simultaneously. So we are talking about Mumbai, Pune, Delhi, Kolkata and Chennai. So all these places are screening wonderful movies, and yesterday we did see that there was a special package curated for Divyang Jan. So students from 2 schools, the Kamala Mehta School for Blind and one other school, they had come over here, and even the people who are who are not specially abled, they were told, or they were given a choice that they can blindfold themselves and experience the movie. So this is really making the cinema inclusive and accessible, because there were 3 movies showcased in this, and there were 2 movies on Krishna, and there was one on crossover. So they had their sign language, they had their audio description and everything. So cinema has really been made accessible over here, and in terms of the people who will be visiting over here, the volunteers have been sensitized. So every aspect has been taken care of, other than the films and the screenings. A lot of things happening over here, and it'll be very sad to to understand that today would be the second last and tomorrow would be the last day of the film festival.
All right, Shama, you've summed it very nicely for us, all the action of the past 5 days. But then, the very essence of this festival is that it highlights and it brings to the fore the domestic talent from all across the country. And also talking the special features of this festival, let us get more from you as to how do you gauge or how do you evaluate, how has filmmaking in the country evolved, because you're telling us how cinema has boomed, and this is a true reflection that has been shown in this film festival. Let us get more from you as to how do you evaluate and how do you rate the festival in terms of giving more opportunities to the domestic talent from across the country.
Right, Preeti. Yesterday I was, I was mentioning the press conference from the national jury selection, national jury competition. So I heard one statement from the chair of the jury that of any film festival is measured by the number of filmmakers that are coming to the film festival, and a lot of filmmakers, many filmmakers have come to MIFF, and that is one, Mumbai International Film Festival is close to everyone's heart. There are people who are associated with it from the very beginning, from the very first edition up till now. So you can imagine that the popularity MIFF is having. And you mentioned about the upcoming talent or the kind of documentaries that is evolving in the country, and I'll also like to associate this with international competition jury. He said that what he saw decades ago from the Indian documentary and now what we are seeing is has a lot of changes and has a paradigm shift, but still there is so much to go, because in the documentaries are not enough. There should be more number of documentaries and there should be more number of places to view this, because the problem is, apart from funding, the problem is where do you view these documentaries? Either you have festivals like this, which is not
all right, Shama, there is a disruption in your audio. We'll try getting back to you again. We'll try connecting again with you. But as of now, thank you for joining in. So that was our correspondent Shama Mishra joining us from Mumbai, telling us more about the 18th Mumbai Film Festival that is currently underway. Tomorrow is the last day, and she told us how important has been the festival with regard to the domestic talent that is showcased from across the country at the festival. All right, let's turn focus to other updates now. As water crisis deepens in India's capital, New Delhi, the city's water minister said that the neighbouring state of Haryana and its government's refusal to give water had worsened the situation. 2 terrorists were killed in an encounter between Indian security forces and terrorists in the Hadipora Sopore area of Jammu and Kashmir's Baramulla district on Wednesday. The terrorists opened fire on the joint team, provoking a gunfight. India's seafood exports touched an all-time high in volume during the 2023-24 financial year. India shipped 1.7 million metric tons of seafood worth $7.38 billion. Frozen shrimp remained the major export item in quantity and value, while the US and China became the major importers of India's seafood. The exports improved in quantity terms by 2.67%. We're heading for a short break. You're watching DD India News Hour. But after the break, Ecuadorians finally heave a sigh of relief as power was restored after a nationwide electricity outage crippled daily life chores. UK parliamentary candidate runs as the first AI lawmaker with interactive AI avatar. In the UK polls forecast, Prime Minister Sunak's Conservatives set for heavy election defeat.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked, we just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News Hour. A quick relook at the top stories once again. In the first Jammu and Kashmir visit after polls, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate developmental projects in the valley today, also to lead 10th Yoga Day celebrations in Srinagar tomorrow. After concluding a defense pact with North Korea, Russian President Putin touches down in Vietnam for final stop in his two-nation Asia tour. As tension escalates in the South China Sea, Philippines says peace could not be achieved if China's words did not match its behavior in the disputed waters. Unrelenting heat waves smash records across the globe. 80 million people in the US under heat advisory as New York opens schooling centers. More than 550 people died during Hajj pilgrimage in Saudi Arabia. After concluding a defense pact with North Korea, Russian President Vladimir Putin touched down in Vietnam early on Thursday for talks with the country's communist leaders on the final stop of his two-nation tour of Asia. Vietnam, which officially pursues a neutral foreign policy it calls bamboo diplomacy in its relations with the world powers, has abstained from condemning Russia's attack on Ukraine, a stance that Western countries view as too close to the Kremlin. Although both North Korea and Russia face international isolation, Vietnam has built careful alliances with the United States and the European Union. The Southeast Asian country will be the third nation Putin has visited after China and North Korea since he was sworn in for a fifth term in May. DD India correspondent Laura Westbrook gets us more.
Vladimir Putin is touched down in Hanoi and he's in Vietnam for just 24 hours. He's expected to participate in a wreath-laying ceremony at the Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum, and he's going to be meeting with officials such as the Communist Party chief and the Vietnamese president. Their talks are expected to focus on deepening the strategic relationship, and trade is also expected to be very high on the agenda. Vietnam is one of Asia's fastest growing economies, and Russia is looking to pivot towards Asian markets away from European markets. This is following its invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Vietnam has deep historical and military ties to Russia. These go back to the Vietnam War, as well as both countries having communist roots. And so Vietnam is also said that its stance on the Ukraine war is officially neutral and has so far refrained from sending arms to Russia, and so really is one of Russia's few friends in the region. But this visit has also drawn a strong rebuke from the United States. It's released a statement via its embassy saying that no country should give Putin a platform to promote its war of aggression. It says that by normalizing travel by Vladimir Putin freely, that this would only normalize Russia's violations of international law.
Russian president has wrapped up his trip to North Korea. Vladimir Putin received a full-blown official welcome and spent more than 10 hours negotiating. He later signed a new document that elevates the relations between the two countries to a higher level. The importance of the visit goes beyond bilateral relations because both the countries have increased attention of the key world powers. Dasha Chernyshova has more from Moscow on this.
The Russian President Vladimir Putin and the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un have signed a comprehensive strategic partnership agreement that includes a vow of mutual assistance if either is attacked. The document was finalized on Wednesday after hours of talks in Pyongyang with delegations and tete-a-tete. Putin said in accordance with the document, Russia could have military technical cooperation with North Korea. Kim Jong-un said the agreement is of a peaceful and defensive nature and would become a driving force accelerating the creation of a new multipolar world. The Kremlin also noted that the document is needed because of profound changes in the geopolitical situation in the region, worldwide, and in bilateral ties between Moscow and Pyongyang, while also insisting that the new document will observe all the fundamental principles of the international law. Putin called the DPRK position on Ukraine a confirmation of Pyongyang's sovereign course. Kim said North Korea-Russia relations have elevated to the level of an alliance. The two also signed an agreement on cooperation in the field of healthcare, medical education, and science, according to the Kremlin. Putin's trip has been closely watched by the US and South Korea amid concern of the growing cooperation between the sanctions-hit states. Dasha Chernyshova in Moscow, reporting for DD India.
And now we get to the latest on the tension that escalated between China and Philippines over the South China Sea. The Philippines urged China to avoid actions that endangered sailors and vessels in the South China Sea, saying peace could not be achieved if China's words did not match its behavior in the disputed waters. The Philippine Foreign Ministry denounced as illegal and aggressive China's actions during a routine resupply mission on June 17th, which the Philippine military said had severely injured a Navy sailor and damaged Manila's vessels. Also, China's Coast Guard disputed the statement, saying Manila's vessel deliberately and dangerously approached a Chinese ship in an unprofessional manner, forcing it to take control measures, including boarding inspections and forced evictions. In Ecuador, power was nearly fully restored in the South American nation on Wednesday afternoon after a nationwide electricity outage struck residential users, hospitals, as well as the capital's subway system. The outage left the nation of some 18 million in the dark. Wednesday's outage also caused dangerous driving conditions for scores of motorists as traffic lights ceased to work. Operations of Quito's subway were also interrupted for several hours. Ecuador's Public Works Minister Roberto Luque blamed the outage on a lack of investment in electrical systems. In April, Ecuadorian President Daniel Noboa declared an energy emergency and announced planned electricity cuts. While the South American country has struggled with a drought affecting hydroelectricity power generation, heavy rains over the weekend forced authorities to take 3 hydroelectric plants offline. Cyril Ramaphosa was sworn in for a second term as South Africa's president on Wednesday in a ceremony in the administrative capital, Pretoria. Ramaphosa formed a coalition government after his party lost the parliamentary majority. South African dignitaries and African heads of state were invited to the inauguration. Ramaphosa will lead the first coalition government in South Africa's democratic history. He hailed this government during his inauguration speech, but also warned that unless it addressed deep inequalities, the country could become unstable. UK migrant boat crossings have hit a 19-month high, adding to the pressure on Prime Minister Rishi Sunak ahead of the country's general election. More than 800 asylum seekers arrived in Britain via small boats across the English Channel on Tuesday. That's the highest single-day figure to make the journey from France since late 2022. DD India's Ollie Barrett gets us more from London.
Well, this new data on arrivals on small boats across the English Channel from France to the UK make very difficult reading for the UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and his Conservative Party, because immigration is a central issue during the UK election campaign, and he is a Prime Minister that pledged when he came into office to stop these small boat crossings, and they absolutely have not been stopped so far. Now, Rishi Sunak would say that he has a Rwanda migration scheme ready to go if he wins the next general election. That would make a difference in this area, but the opposition parties say it's a gimmick, it's unworkable, and that these latest figures just show that the government does not have this issue under control. The Labour Party, which is well ahead in all of the polling at the moment, says that if it gets into government, which the polls suggest it may well do, that it would scrap the Rwanda scheme entirely. That plan that the Prime Minister hopes will see some asylum seekers removed from the UK and sent to Rwanda to pursue their asylum claims there. Labour says they would scrap it and bring in other measures designed to tighten up border control and get on top of overall net migration numbers, but particularly illegal immigration. The right-wing Reform UK party, led by Nigel Farage, says that neither of the two major parties would do enough to get on top of immigration, and it believes that immigration is why Reform have been performing well in several polls recently. Nigel Farage, the leader of Reform UK, looks set, according to the polling, to be returned as an MP himself in the seat of Clacton on the south coast of England. All of this means that migration remains a central theme in the election campaign. The UK election on July the 4th is now just 2 weeks away. Ollie Barrett in London reporting for DD India.
Three opinion polls on Wednesday predicted a record defeat for British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's Conservatives at a July 4 election, forecasting the Labour Party would comfortably win a large majority after 14 years in opposition. Polling forecasts showed Keir Starmer's Labour was on track to win 425 parliamentary seats in Britain's 650-strong House of Commons, the most in its history. Savanta predicted 516 seats for Labour and More in Common gave it 406. British voters will get the chance to elect what's being billed as the world's first AI lawmaker in the July 4th national election to join Britain's parliament. Businessman Steve Endacott is standing for election, but unlike other candidates, he has campaign leaflets showing not his face, but an AI-generated avatar. Steve Endacott is among hundreds of candidates standing to become a member of parliament at Britain's July 4th national election. Over 560 pilgrims have lost their lives during the annual Muslim pilgrimage as Mecca is under the grip of a severe heat wave. Egypt alone has registered 307 deaths and another 118 people are missing as temperatures at the time soared past 51 degrees Celsius. 35 Tunisian citizens have also died during the Hajj pilgrimage. India also reported around 50 deaths during the core Hajj period, including the day of Arafat. Climate scientists say such deaths offer a glimpse of what is to come for tens of millions of Muslims expected in the coming decades to undertake the pilgrimage. Scientists state the situation will get much worse as the world warms. Last year, at least 240 pilgrims were reported dead by various countries, most of them Indonesians. In preparation for this year, Saudi officials advised pilgrims to use umbrellas, drink plenty of water and avoid exposure to the sun during the hottest hours of the day. Approximately 1.8 million pilgrims participated in the pilgrimage this year, with 1.6 million coming from abroad. All right, Vinod Kumar is joining us from Dubai. Vinod, good morning. We've told our viewers about how people and pilgrims, in fact, have lost their lives during the Hajj pilgrimage. What more can you add? Over 560 pilgrims lost their lives this year.
Hi, Preeti. The Saudi Arabian government has not released the official count of deaths yet. The count that we get that 550 pilgrims have lost their lives is from the countries of Egypt, Tunisia, Jordan, when we aggregate it. Also from the count of the number of bodies which was found in the largest morgue in Mecca, that is Al Musaim morgue. So that is how we have arrived this count. Around 50 Indian deaths are also being reported from Mecca. Last year, the Indian casualty count from the Hajj was around 68. Even though many portals are reporting 68 people have died this year also, this is not officially confirmed. The day of Arafat was particularly challenging. The day of Arafat was the second day, as the temperatures rose well above 50 degrees, 52 degrees to be precise. Despite the provision of giving air-conditioned tents and other facilities, many pilgrims have to spend a day under the open sky. This is due to the strict religious practice known as Waquf al-Arafat, which involves standing and praying throughout the day. Unfortunately, when this practice is combined with extreme heat, the count has risen. And one more reason of this count to rise, and there is no official estimate, is that most of the people who have died have come through unofficial channels, especially from the country of Egypt. Egypt is now reporting a death toll well above 323. Today's latest media report says that it might have even crossed 600. We do not have an exact count to this because they came through unofficial channels because they are not able to, the pilgrims are not able to afford the cost associated with the official channels. People who have come through these official channels were given all the top-notch facilities, especially the Indian Hajj mission have given top-notch facilities with air-conditioned tents, air-conditioned rooms, and they were taken to Mina and other places through high-speed railways. And one more thing to be noted, that on the second day of the Hajj rituals, the walk towards Mina, that itself is around 10 kilometers in the open air. So many people are not ready for this kind of travel. So that is also one of the reasons for this climbing death rate. As you said, last year the total death rate was 240, but this year it has well crossed 555. One of the main reasons is definitely global warming. The Saudi Arabian government is reporting that every decade 0.4 degree of temperature rise is being reported from the areas of pilgrimage. So this definitely has a close correlation with global warming. On Monday, as I told, the temperature touched an all-time high of 51.8 degrees. So we'll have to see that how the future of Hajj will be made and how the global humanity will come together in tackling this climate change and religious rituals.
All right, Vinod, we'll leave it here. Thank you for joining in with that analysis. All right, let's get you other weather updates from other parts of the world now. Parts of US broke decades-old temperature records as the heat wave sweltered the region. About 80 million people from Indiana to New England sweltered under the heat advisory or excessive heat warning. Weather authorities warned that this could be a deadly weather event. New York governor activated the state's emergency operations center in response to high temperatures till weekend. Residents of the coastal Salvadoran town picked up trash from shores after heavy rains dragged tons of plastic waste to their beaches. At least 11 people were dead in Central America due to landslides and flooding in the past few days. Forecasters have predicted more rain throughout the week and warned that this could be exacerbated by a storm that is soon forecast to form over the Gulf of Mexico. The International Day of Yoga will be celebrated on 21st of June. And now we get you a special report on this. Ahead of the 10th International Day of Yoga celebrated by the Indian Embassy in US at the picturesque and serene wharf in Washington, various community organizations participated enthusiastically in the yoga and meditation session. Highlighting this year's theme, celebrating yoga for self and society, the event included elements to inspire embrace of environment-friendly products and practices in daily life. And also ahead of International Day of Yoga, India's Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports organized Yog Mahotsav 2024 at Major Dhyan Chand National Stadium. The event is to embrace yoga for self and society. All right, from here we turn focus to sports now. In cricket, India will face Afghanistan in their first Super 8 match at the Kensington Oval in Barbados on Thursday. India secured victories in 3 out of their 4 Group A matches, with their games against Canada being called off due to rain. Also, Afghanistan won 3 of their 4 Group C matches, with their only loss coming against West Indies. Our correspondent Tapas Bhattacharya gets us more on this.
All eyes will be on Virat Kohli as India heads into the Super 8 stage of the tournament. The seasoned batsman is yet to log a double-digit score in the competition, but he is expected to shine on better wickets in Caribbean. India's premier T20 batter Surya Kumar Yadav found some form against USA, boosting his confidence. Besides Kohli, runs are pending from Hardik Pandya, who has been exceptional with the ball but is yet to make a significant impact with the bat. On the bowling front, Arshdeep Singh has grown in confidence, perfectly complementing Jasprit Bumrah both in the power play and in death overs.
All the 3 games that we played were really well attended, which is fantastic. We feel we are ready, we feel we are rested, we feel we are prepared. And we know Afghanistan is a very dangerous team in this format of the game. They've shown in their performances in this World Cup. But also I think if you just look at their squad, I mean, they might not have a lot of international experience as in the other formats of the game, but a lot of their players do play in a lot of T20 leagues, more than, in fact, some of our players do.
But the main question will be whether Kuldeep Yadav will get a chance in the playing 11. The Indian team's practice session suggests that the pitch could be favourable for spinners, strengthening Kuldeep's case for inclusion. Afghanistan enters the Super 8 fixtures after a humbling loss to the West Indies in St. Lucia. Captain Rashid Khan will heavily rely on the left-arm pacer Fazal Haq Farooqi, the leading wicket-taker of the tournament with 12 wickets. Farooqi's ability to swing the ball back poses a significant threat to Indian openers Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli.
In the IPL, we've got a lot of players playing a lot of T20 cricket around the world. And now it's about putting that together as a side. I think in the past we've had some good individual players, but we need all those players playing together as a side. And we've seen that at times in the group stage. Obviously one of the favourites. and with being favourites, obviously, is added pressure for India. And hopefully we can come in, obviously perceived as underdogs, but in my mind, very much not underdogs, and fully prepared and ready for the battle that confronts us.
On the batting front, Afghanistan's in-form openers Ramanullah Gurbaz and Ibrahim Zardan will once again be crucial to their team's success. As the competition heats up, both teams have much to prove. Will Kohli find his form? Can Afghanistan bounce back from the drubbing it got from West Indies? Stay tuned for what promises to be an exciting clash in the Super 8 stage. With camera person EAM Jaishankar, this is Taposh Bhattacharya for DD India from Barbados.
The International Cricket Council has announced the launch of ICC Immersive, a revolutionary app designed to transform the way fans experience cricket. Now, this app brings thrilling atmosphere of the ongoing Men's T20 World Cup 24, offering fans a virtual experience via the Apple Vision Pro. This app allows users to feel as though they are inside each stadium, experiencing key moments from every match. Our correspondent Taposh Bhattacharya spoke to ICC Head of Digital, Finn Bradshaw, about this new initiative.
Joining me is Head of ICC Digital, Finn Bradshaw. So, you guys have come up with a new immersive technology. What sort of a thing? What exactly is that? People want to know exactly that.
So what it enables is for fans to put on the Apple Vision Pro headset, and then they get to experience what it's like to be in the middle of a stadium. So they get to be the batter in the middle of any of the World Cup stadiums, and then they get to face the bowlers in the match. It's a recreation.
So is it a real-time sort of a thing?
No, it happens after the match.
Okay.
But after the match, if you want to go and see the Rishabh Pant, ramp shot, or what it's like to face a Bumrah Yorker, you get to see that. And you're there, and the ball happens in real speed, and so you're standing there, and it's like, wow.
So generally, people who think that it's easy to face Bumrah, or for that matter, score runs easily. Well, that kind of technology will tell you, well, it's not that easy, isn't it?
Exactly, and we think it's really important because we've been in America, where a lot of people are discovering cricket for the first time. Maybe they know baseball. When they look at it and they go, how hard can it be? It bounces, it's easy. And this enables them to put it on and go, oh my gosh, it would be so hard to face these guys. Look how quickly it comes.
Tell us more about ICC's plan to take this particular technology, not just this immersive technology, but overall, digitally, how they want to take it forward. There's a lot of AI thing coming out. Are you guys working on those things?
Yeah, we think there's a lot of opportunity for that, particularly around video creation. Like, how can AI help us to find the best moments and push them out to the fans as quickly as possible? But also when you think about languages, so many of our fans speak so many different languages.
Absolutely.
And at the moment, we have to get different people to do that each time, and so there's a limit. Yeah. But with AI, potentially, there's no limit to how many languages you can create content in.
So the World Cup is a huge hit in the Caribbean island and USA. How do you guys take this from here to the next level?
Well, I think what we're trying to do is provide a platform and show people what's possible. Show people that cricket is still really popular in the Caribbean. Like, nothing is better than a Caribbean crowd. Like the other night when Pooran was going nuts. Like, it's a party vibe. It's unlike any other cricket in the world, right? And then in America, show you can fill a 35,000 seat stadium. And so we hope other people see that opportunity and then build on that, whether that's through MLC or whether that's through, the Olympics in 4 years. We've shown the opportunity there. Now we want to see how other people can pick up that and run with it.
So that was our ICC Digital Head, Mr. Bradshaw, telling us that this immersive technology is the future, and who knows, in a few years' time, one might hear your favorite commentator speaking in your favorite language. With Prasar Bharati, this is Taposh Bhattacharya for DD India from Barbados.
And German fans celebrated their 2-0 Euro 2024 win over Hungary in Stuttgart on Wednesday. With 2 wins out of 2, the Germans are guaranteed to be at least among the 4 best third-place teams. Elated fans are hopeful that Germany will certainly lift the Euro 2024 trophy. Alright, that's it in this edition of DD India News Hour, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us at in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour.